Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a small dragon named Puff. Puff was small but very brave. He had a poison green color, and his belly and the inside of his wings were yellow. On his head he wore two white horns, and he looked very mischievous. He had two sharp, snow-white dragon teeth that were so large that they were even visible when he closed his mouth. He had three claws on his hands and feet with sharp and pointed tips that helped him grasp onto things tightly. Despite his small size, Puff was quite strong and could carry objects much larger than himself. Puff took great pride in his appearance and always kept his scales clean and polished. His friends in the village thought he was the most handsome dragon they had ever seen. Puff was not like the other dragons in the kingdom. He had a peculiar habit of sneezing fire when he got excited. One day Puff was excited to attend his best dragon friend's birthday party. The celebration was in full swing and all the dragons were having a great time. However, Puff got a little too excited and suddenly had to sneeze. The sneeze was so strong that a fiery blast shot out of his mouth and burned the entire birthday cake. All of Puff's dragon friends were furious and disappointed. They couldn't believe that Puff's uncontrollable sneeze ruined the party. Puff felt terrible and didn't know how to control his sneezing. Another time, while playing with his dragon friends, Puff sneezed a huge flame that accidentally set a nearby tree on fire. The other dragons were terrified and quickly flew away, leaving poor Puff alone. He also became scared of breathing fire. Feeling sad and embarrassed, Puff decided to leave the kingdom and explore the world. He flew for days until he reached a village where he saw a group of children playing in a park. Puff wanted to play with them, but he was scared that he might accidentally sneeze fire and hurt someone. However, the children were not afraid of Puff. They saw him as a cute and friendly dragon, and they invited him to join their game of tag. Puff was hesitant at first, but he quickly realized that these children were his true friends. Together they had a lot of fun playing games and exploring the village. Puff even learned how to control his sneezing so he wouldn't accidentally burn anything. The children noticed that Puff's sneezing usually happened when he got too excited or had strong emotions. So they came up with a game to help Puff learn how to control his sneezing. They played a game of Simon Says, where one child would be Simon and give commands like, Simon says, take a deep breath, or Simon says, exhale slowly. Puff joined in and followed the commands carefully. The children also taught Puff some breathing exercises, like inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly, to help him calm down when he felt too excited. Through his game and practice, Puff learned how to control his sneezing and became much more confident in his ability to be around others without causing harm. He became a beloved member of the village and was known as the dragon who never breathed fire. From that day on, Puff lived happily ever after with his new friends. He realized that being different was not a bad thing, and that true friends would accept him for who he was, even if he sneezed fire. And whenever he got too excited, the children would laugh and shout, Watch out! Puff's about to sneeze!